Congratulations again on completing the previous sections. All you learned from them will now really make a difference when it comes to understanding and laying out the structure of a tattoo. One thing you learned is the importance of meaning, and this will help you understand how fundamental this first step, for info collection, really is. It will guide your choice of the elements and their layout, so it shouldn't be underestimated. And when you work on a request, prepare yourself not to hear a story, but to really listen to it. There are 4 things you should know in order to prepare a better Polynesian tattoo. It's what, why, where, and how. The what is the story, the elements and meanings we are asked to include. And no matter how detailed the story can be, it will always be limited to a finite number of events, interactions, or people. And this takes us to the why. It's important to understand why those events, interactions, or people have been chosen above all. Why are they most important than anything else? Never be afraid to ask. If someone says I love surfing, it means it's important to them, so you may want to ask why. And the answers may be because I feel a deeper connection with water and nature, because I feel free, because it allows me to see new places and meet new people who share my passion, because I always went surfing with my father and they are the most precious memories I share with him. So you see, each person may have a different answer, and each answer may be represented differently, making every tattoo personal, unique, and meaningful. Remember that people can possibly change their idea of what looks good over time, and a nice tattoo that they love now may not resonate with them as much in 10-20 years. But if the tattoo tells their own story, if it's them, it will always be meaningful, and no matter how much time has passed, they will still feel it their own. That's why it's important to ask questions and to read them on the lines. And here's a ninja trick. Even when I talk to someone in person, I always ask them to send me everything in an email. And that's because having everything written has several advantages. First, writing promotes concentration. And to write what they really want, people tend to focus on the really important things rather than rambling. Writing takes time, and no one likes wasting it with unimportant details. So this was like a filter that highlights the real desires and expectations, what really matters. Secondly, having everything written, I'm sure I can't possibly forget any part of the request, as I can get back to it if I have doubts. And lastly, but definitely not less important, when people write, their personality remains imprinted between the lines. You can understand more about someone's character if you can read their words over and over again. After a certain time, patterns start to emerge, or certain words and ideas seem to come back again and again with more strength than others. There are details and nuances that could go unnoticed when listening to them once, but they become clearer after a few readings. And once you have the info, you should always ask ancestors, spirits, or a higher power to guide you in understanding how to structure a tattoo and what symbols to use. Another ninja trick in this case is to read the request several times before going to sleep. As during sleep, our brain is more receptive and can skip some limitations it has during wake, often leaving us in the morning with a clear picture of the tattoo. I can't say if this comes from a higher power or from within, but always be thankful for receiving guidance and inspiration. And after knowing the why, the what, we need to know the where to prepare a Polynesian tattoo. Since it will have to follow the lines of the body, it is fundamental to know where it will be positioned and its maximum size to determine the level of details we can reach. So always ask for measures. To make this step easy and clear, we always show images with the measures we need marked on them. You know there's a suggested limit to the size of each element and to their distance, as we have seen in the previous video. And this means that more meanings, a longer story, will require a bigger tattoo. If you feel that the size isn't enough for the requested meanings, don't be afraid to ask to limit them to the most important ones, or to increase the size of the tattoo. It's better to prepare no tattoo at all than to prepare a bad one. And finally, the how. And since everyone is different, and we know that there are several different Polynesian styles, it's important to understand the preferences of each person. The same story can be told in several different ways, and a good artist always takes personal taste into consideration. Ask for examples. Is there any published tattoo that they really like in terms of style? Not in terms of meaning, just for the visual appeal, disregarding the shape or size of the tattoo. This will help us understand the preferences in terms of smaller or bigger elements, lighter or denser look, the exact style, and so on. It's important for a tattoo to resonate on all levels with the person it's been designed for. And the more examples, the better, because they will make it easier to find common patterns and identify the preferences. And again, never be afraid to ask. A tattoo is forever, and anyone prefers to spend a little more time collecting info if this means they will receive a much better tattoo. I hope this first step is clear, but if you have doubts or questions, remember there's a Facebook group for this. And now, what are we going to do with all the information we have? First, let's see in the next video how to give priorities to the meanings. See you there.